Yeah, good morning. In today's session, we'll just continue with the introduction of machine learning for a practical approach. So in the last class, we have seen that machine learning is a computer program that learns from the experience E with respect to some task what we are giving and performance measure P. If the performance for a particular task has to be taken care of, then only that machine learning algorithm can be deployed. So why is the significance of this performance task should be carried out? It is because so once we check whether the machine learning algorithm is capable, that it is able to learn with the experience, or it is going to improvise with experience, so that machine learning algorithm can be deployed in real time. So here we have just taken an example. So the task what we are giving is that we want a robot. So the main task is we want it to walk. So walking is a task. Okay. Learning, you're making the machine to learn, right? That is machine learning. So what is this learning? Learning, it is nothing but you're going to provide, or you're going to make it attain the ability to perform that particular task of walking. Okay, so either in this condition we can program the robot to learn to walk, or we could directly write a program in which we could specify that how a robot can walk manually. So some of the machine learning task, whatever you are going to give, as I told in the previous class, the example is classification. It can be either I want to classify as apple or orange, or I can give as a regression problem, or it could be a machine translation. So sometimes the video transcription work also can be given. So the task T, in order to evaluate a machine learning algorithm, so first of all, as I told you, we must measure its performance. Okay, so a simple example what we have taken, like classification, we always, it is required that when we are going to deploy the model, we have to measure the accuracy of the model. If the model is able to predict, okay, the same example I am taking, it is predicting the apple or orange. So if it is predicting correctly only, we can deploy it for classifying the objects, right? So now comes the term what is called as accuracy. Okay, accuracy is just the proportion of the examples for which the model produces the correct output. Now the task is given, that is you have to make the robot to walk. Now the next condition is experience. So how it is going to learn via experience? So in machine learning algorithms, it is broadly classified as supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So there are other types also, like semi-supervised learning and reinforced learning, but the main broad classifications are supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So what is this supervised learning? Okay, so we'll just take the same class example. Okay, so suppose when we are going to be there in the class, that is the class is going to be at 7:50. If you take, the students will be there without the teacher, right? But by 8 o'clock the class will be inside the classroom. If you check, it is going to be with the student and the teacher, right? So at 7:50, when we are when you see 7:50 to 8, the noise level in the class will be little bit more, because as friends we would be conversing with each other. But once the teacher enters, okay, so the noise level would go down. So that means under the supervision of the teacher, okay, so whenever some function or some performance is going to be there, that is someone is there to supervise you. So that it is a normal example of supervised learning. Okay, here I am just going to teach you in the class with the help of a teacher. That is, they are going to explain you. Okay, so I am going to give a code to classify between, I am going to explain the code to classify between an apple and the orange. Is this clear? That is the general thing. That is, I am supervising you, I am teaching you, and after that I am taking a class test to understand whether you people have understood or not. That is supervised learning. That means supervised learning algorithm. This is a general example, right? When you're going to concern with machine learning, here this supervised algorithm, it is going to experience a data set that is going to contain the features, but also it is going to be associated with the label or a target, right? So supervised learning means, let us take a small example. I'm making the machine to learn the two table. Okay, so now two table, I'm just giving two ones are 2 to two tens are 20. Okay, so this is the condition, the data set I'm providing it to the machine learning. It learns. After that, whenever I'm testing that algorithm, I'm asking 2 6 r. If it provides 2 6 r as 12, that is your supervised learning. For every data, whatever we have trained, it is able to provide the result. Okay, and even if you take the example, okay, for classification, I have trained the machine learning algorithm to classify between apple and orange. So whenever I'm giving an image, it immediately gives, okay, this is a orange image diagram, or it is going to be a apple fruit image. So that is your supervised learning. So each and every output will be assigned with a label. Okay, so that is your supervised learning. The next thing, unsupervised learning. So usually now if you people consider, so we all go in for a flipped learning class, right? It is not the same orientation like all the 50 minutes the teacher is going to take for you, right? So sometimes what we provide, sometimes we also provide our own YouTube lectures. Okay, understand the concepts and we give some problems. Okay, understanding that concept you should implement in the class. So when we are doing that, we see that there is an active participation in the class, right? And the students, they come with different thoughts to solve a problem, which is quite inspiring for the students, as well as it is inspiring for the staff, that the students, the thinking level has enhanced, right? So that is your unsupervised learning. That is, we just give the concept. Okay, we just give the concept, but we just give a different problems and ask them to solve based on the logic what we have taught in the class. That is your unsupervised learning. Okay, so unsupervised learning, we'll just give the data set as a chunk, say these are the features, but it is that you people, you derive the useful properties and then you provide the solution. Okay, for example, we will take the same two table learning. Okay, now if I'm giving two ones are two, two tens are 20. Suppose if I'm giving a new variable, say what is two 11s are, based on the hidden patterns of increasing the value by 2, it will provide the output as 22. That is your unsupervised learning. Okay, I'm taking the same day-to-day example. You can take the example of the same thing, the child also. Okay, so initially we'll be wherever the child goes, we will go behind and we'll take care of that and supervising it. Okay, but if you could see in the villages and all, this happens usually in the city, but when you observe the village condition, so the parents usually, they don't care about their child. They'll just leave it in the whatever the street they are there, and the child will fall down, it will get up, and it will get cold also because of this climate and other things, but it will improvise itself. So the child will be healthier in a village when compared to the city, because it is subjected to various conditions. This is clear. So whenever we are leaving the students to do some project also with their own interest, we just give the data alone, input data alone, the output will become, it will be much better than a supervised class. Than you give a class and you give a test, Instead, you just teach them. You just give some object and ask them to do a minor project. So we will see a lot of experience students would have learned and their ways and their thinking perception. Okay, so this unsupervised learning is always better because we learn from experiences and provide a very better output. Now, what are the differences between AI, ML, and deep learning? So, and here, this AI, it is nothing but it is a concept of creating intelligent machines that can mimic the human cognitive function. So the main objective of this AI, if you could see, it's able to reason or learn or solve problems and make decision. So the day-to-day example, whatever the machine learning has become part and parcel of our life, either machine learning or AI or data science, whatever it is. Okay, so whatever we want initially, we will type it in Google. But now what we are doing, we have become much more lazier. So we just speak to it. Okay, so we are using the virtual Google assistants or whatever we want to recommend. Yesterday we are recommended some products. When you're again shopping in Amazon or Flipkart, again whatever is that your interest peeps in. Okay, or you're seeing some videos for your recreation. Tomorrow the same video peeps in. It is all the function of your AI, ML, and deep learning, which makes our life easier. Okay, now what is this ML? So the is ML is a specific approach that allows that has a model logic that is built in without being explicitly programmed. I already told you what is the difference between a coding and the machine learning. In coding, we'll give you the input data, we'll give you the code, output will be the result. Whereas in machine learning, you'll give the input, you'll give the output also, but you're going to develop that program. Okay, so what is your machine learning is going to do? This machine learning, it is going to focus on developing the various algorithms so that can identify the patterns and also make the predictions or decisions accordingly. Okay, so the main example, if you could see, the same example I've told, no, image recognition or in your mail. So important mails comes in the inbox and the unwanted, the less important mails comes as a spam. So this classification is also a function of ML. The next thing is your deep learning. So this deep learning is again a subset of ML that utilizes the artificial neural networks with multiple layers. How does your Google work? How does your ChatGPT work? It is because it is layers of dense layers of this artificial neural networks. They've trained in different domains before being deployed. Okay, so in simpler terms, so what is this AI, ML, and DL? So this AI is a big data, which is the idea of making the machine smart. What is ML? It is a way to make the machine learn from data and past experiences. What is your deep learning or DL? It is a way to make the machine learn from the complex data using neural networks. Thus, if you could see, essentially AI is an umbrella and ML is a tool under that umbrella. Okay, and DL is a more advanced tool with the ML. Okay, now there is something crispy or something new term called as data science. Okay, what is the function of data science? Okay, now we are getting all the data. We are receiving huge amount of data. To process it, it is not possible by the human. So we go in for this data science where all the input data, whatever we obtain for a specific application, so first we have to check whether the data, whatever we are applying, is in compliance to use it for the particular application. Whether the data are just like that, I can put it and use it, or whether there are some data cleaning techniques to be performed. Okay, so this data science has integrated all these techniques AI, ML, and DL, and it is used for extracting the meaningful insights from the given data, provided you have to clean the data and bring it to the it format that is suitable for processing by your ML, so that we can make the large predictions from the data sets. Thank you.